Rebuilding a strong partnership in the Mediterranean is the motto of this year's study days of the EPP group, which takes place in Palermo, Sicily, Italy's biggest island. Prime Ministers, European Commissioners and EPP members of the European Parliament are discussing a wide range of issues related to the Mediterranean area, such as the crisis in the Arab world and North Africa, migration in the Mediterranean, and the role of the European Union, judicial cooperation, fisheries and agriculture, the environment, SMEs and young entrepreneurs. Opening the meeting, EPP Group's chairman Joseph Daul declared that Europe did not know the dramatic effect of the Jasmine Revolution, the uprising of people in favor of democracy and human rights we have in Egypt, Libya, Syria and other countries. Turning to the effects of immigration and the unrest in many North African countries, Joseph Daul called for unity and cohesion in European migration policy. He said we must seek a common approach, including development aid and a common management of humanitarian challenges, such as the massive influx of refugees to Lampedusa. Jerzy Buzek, President of the European Parliament, made 3 points in the discussion. We need to show more solidarity. Instability in North Africa could lead to more illegal immigration, and countries cannot be left alone to deal with this. We need to help each other in times of crisis. Frontex needs to be used. Our borders are our common borders. A return to internal border controls will lead to divisions and further harm our economic recovery. Secondly, he added, we need to rethink our neighborhood policy. Our neighbors from North Africa will ask to have democratic dividends in the future, prosperity being the most important. The third issue is a long-term perspective issue. We need to be honest with ourselves. We made a mistake with North Africa that only stability is important. Real stability comes from democracy. The President in Office of the European Council and Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban underlined that what happens to the Arab world should be seen as a possibility and not as a crisis. Continuing, he talked about a strategic partnership with the Arab world.
So it could contain economic elements. I think that could be the main vehicle and motor of that, and we should strengthen the cultural and political relation as well. So see as a possibility, not as a crisis. And we should not lose more time, because the motivation of the popular movement over there was first freedom, but then economic difficulties can replace it, and social discontent could be the main driving force.
Abbas El Fassi Fikri, Prime Minister of Morocco, talked about exchanges in the domain of this strategic partnership.
These exchanges
are diversified. All the domains, the domain of politics, human rights, democracy, economy and on social issues. And then there is the commercial exchange with all the Arab countries, with the oil and gas producing countries. Loris Gonzi, the Maltese Prime Minister, spoke of the need to provide political and economic support to Arab countries.
In my opinion, what we need to do is we need to provide the support for the democratic process that has taken place in these countries by citizens themselves in the streets. We have to provide all the expertise that we have and the wealth of experience and anything that is required by these institutions for them to continue to grow. I think the intervention by the Prime Minister of Morocco during the seminar indicates one way of addressing this.
Carlo Cassini, head of the Italian delegation of the EPP Group, thinks that the problems in the Mediterranean will not be solved quickly. I think that the current situation that we are living in the Mediterranean is not in transition, and therefore it is permanent, of a long term and of geopolitical character, meaning that we have to get used to a situation that requires a lot of time to get solved, requires a lot of intelligence, a lot of generosity and a lot of effort. It seems that now is the time for a new step forward in the relations between the European Union and its southern neighbors. The demand for political participation, dignity, freedom and employment opportunities can be fulfilled by political and economical reforms. The EPP Group supports its southern neighbors that are willing to go ahead with these reforms and respects human rights, social justice and the rule of law.